So, welcome everyone. I'm already feeling a beautiful welcoming you here in the warmth of Brazil, which is very hot today. I'm in Rio de Janeiro and sending this warmth to all your hearts. And to do that properly, we're going to start with a short heart meditation just to get us in the same place, and this place that knows how to say yes, how to say no, and how to move with the flow of life. So let's sit comfortably in your most nice, comfortable seated position, allowing your body and the wholeness of your presence to be here and now with everything just as it is. Feel your sitting bones resting on the place where you're sitting. Feel the soft and gentle way that you can breathe. The life is breathing through you. And bring a gentle touch into your heart space. This is space right on the center of your chest. And just perceive how this space embraces the touching of your hand. Perceive how your breathing can expand from that space. Anytime you breathe in, you can connect and feel this expansion. And once you're breathing out, you just give yourself full permission to relax. And you might want this out breath to have a sign out through the mouth. This place of deep wisdom, peace, love, care, compassion that is always available for you. That is you, anytime you're naturally breathing. And if you feel comfortable for you, I'm going to invite you to the sound of universal connection, the sound of Om. So breathing in all together. And if a natural smile is not yet showing in your lips, you might want to invite it to come in and gently open your eyes. Welcome. Welcome everyone. I thought of many ways of bringing the information of this trip together for you. And at the end, what my heart said is that should be the most simple way of doing it. So I am not sure if everyone had an opportunity to go to our PDF, which is where we described more or less how our days is going to be during this trip. So the trip will start for you in England. It will start on the 26th of October, in the night probably, when you catch your flight to Rio de Janeiro. So if you are catching a direct flight, it might be about 9 hours, 10 hours. It depends of the company you are flying with, okay? But you should be in Rio de Janeiro early morning on the 27th of October. And as people might be coming from America too and other parts of Brazil, so we are planning to have everyone arriving together in Rio de Janeiro between 6 and 8 a.m. So by 8:30, we can all go into the van and come together to this place where I am right now, which is in the south area of Rio de Janeiro, São Conrado Beach at Paraty Guest House. So Paraty is a non-governmental organization which takes care of the children from Vila Canoas, which is right on my right side, which is a favela, pacified favela in Rio de Janeiro, and a very beautiful community, okay? So people praise for this space of Paraty for more than 50 years when the Urani family from Italy came along and started to take care of all these immigrants from other parts of the country that started to move to Rio de Janeiro to work in this area. So the parents of Lydia Urani were so, my hairs are all up now when I'm talking about them here in their space. I feel so blessed to be here. But they've done a fabulous work because right on my left side is the most rich area of Rio de Janeiro. So Paraty is right on the middle of the very wealthy people, artists, actors, and film, all that you can imagine. On my left, and right here on my right, it starts Vila Canoas, which is part of the biggest favela of South America, which is Favela da Rocinha. So it's like this huge contradiction, and Família Urani was one of these beautiful lights that allowed it to be met in peace and giving these very beautiful people the example of how to take care of a place. So they were the first ones on having here, for example, the treatment of the water that they use, which the wealth houses didn't have, and now they have too, because they could not stay behind. So it's a very, very special place that you will be in. And the guest house here is just on the top of this small river, which they call waterfall. It's not properly waterfall, but it's this river that flows down and goes to the beach. Right on the west side, there is also one of the biggest golf camp. Do you say that? Golf player place where they play golf, also from South America. So you can understand that it's all together, all blended, and Paraty and Lydia are people taking care. This is one of the most recent projects from Heart of Living Yoga. There was a beautiful call to support them here. Lydia has lost her parents a few years ago, her brother also together with her mom, almost together with her mom. And last year she lost her husband, no, in 2022, she lost her husband, which was a very spiritual, deep passage, but he was the one key man here that works with this. So she is really pleased and happy to have the support of Heart of Living Yoga in this moment in time for her heart, for her way of being, and to open that up to receive you all. So yeah, it's a new stage of Parati coming along now. So we will be here, right? Let me share the program with you if I know how to do that. Just a sec. Back on Zoom. Share screen. I hope you can see what I'm showing. Let me know if it's okay to see that. Wonderful. Lovely. I'll put these on. Don't know how to do that. Okay, but I'm gonna do this. So on the 27th, when we arrive and everyone's together at Galeão Airport, so the airport that you are arriving in Rio de Janeiro, the symbol is GIG, okay, which is the international airport. So we're gonna come out together from there to Paraty, and we will be received. You're gonna go into your rooms, and then we're gonna straight to meet the children and have some time with them. They get so excited when people from abroad come along. They received lots of guests from France and also from Italy here, and sometimes people from Denmark and Norway to Scandinavia. People used to come along. So we're gonna spend some time with them still in the morning, and around lunchtime, which is very flexible here in Brazil, we're gonna go to the seaside of the place, so São Conrado Beach, which you can spend time there having lunch and stay till the sunset. Okay, it's a very calm beach. Talking about Rio de Janeiro, it's not that busy as you normally see in TV, even if during the weekends gets more busier, but it's a very calm place to be. And then we can have an early night, of course. You all been traveling a lot, and it's gonna be nice to sleep earlier that night. So the mornings, as much as we can, we're gonna start the days with heart meditation, some hatha, followed by the breakfast. Okay, so not as long as normally we do when we are practicing whenever we are, but we have an hour to spend each day meditating and doing some more heart warming ups. And then we follow the breakfast. It's gonna happen here at Paraty too. On day 28, as you can see there, on this beautiful river that Urani family was making sure it would be clean, and the treatment of water of the favela would support this clean water. It's gonna be blessed by Padmaji. So we will have that following our breakfast just here still. And then we're gonna go for Corcovado. There we're gonna have lunch around there too. So Corcovado is this huge mountain that everyone knows, that you can see here on the picture on the side. It's one of the highest mountains in Brazil, actually, and it's an amazing view from the lowlands of Rio de Janeiro. It's one of the 7 world beauties or wonders, I don't know how we call that nowadays, in the world. and it's definitely a place that we must go once you're here. First, because we once you're there, you can have these perspectives of differences of the country. You're gonna see all the nature and the beauty of the forests, the sea, and this what I was talking to you about. These differences of status and wealth distribution, also from the top. So another beautiful thing from the Christ is that most of the people doesn't know that, but right here in this black part that you can see beneath him, there is a mother temple. So the saint or the Madonna that protects the country is Nossa Senhora Aparecida, which is a black Madonna. And she has a special place right there underneath the Christ, like the Christ is rising from her, from all this beauty. And I also find this important to mention because it's so special. So, and we're gonna have the sunset in Ipanema Beach, which is very well known by the music, Garota de Ipanema. It has been sounded everywhere. Is these kiosks by the sea. You can listen the Brazilian music playing along, and this is a very nice place to be. So you can have a dinner there too. So remember that in Rio de Janeiro is one of the only places that we do not have the meals included on the package, okay? So that is where it depends on where we are. You can decide what you're gonna have for food, but we're gonna be all together and we can support each other on the choices too. But most of these places in Rio de Janeiro, the menu is translated to English too, which makes things easier. So 29th, same ritual in the morning, heart meditation, hatha, breakfast. And then there's another place that we will be visiting. Let me see if I can open the picture of, don't know where it is now. Okay, but I can show you soon a picture of the Sugarloaf Mountain, which is also a nice referential tourist place in Brazil. Of course, you probably have heard about that before. So we're gonna have a lunch around there too. And in the afternoon, our dinner is gonna be after a beautiful boat trip to the 7 Little Islands, very hidden place here, where you're gonna see another part of Rio de Janeiro, which seems like Pantanal. So you're gonna see how do you say that? I'm trying to remember. Crocodile. Yeah, that's the name. Alligators, actually. Alligators. So, fun enough, we have alligators in Rio de Janeiro. I got surprised myself. But when you are going through these little islands, you can see them in their natural habitat still, which is very well preserved. And many different birds that we have from the water here. So it's beautiful. And the dinner there is beautiful too, because the Gigoia Island is one of the islands that doesn't have car circulation. So you are in the middle of a Rio de Janeiro, very noisy car, big city, but once you go there, it's silence. It's silent. And yeah, that generates this sense and this contradiction too. So that's gonna be our first step arriving in Rio de Janeiro, okay? On the 3rd is when we are flying to Brasilia, which is the capital of Brazil. So it's not Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is Argentina, please. But most people ask me if capital of Brazil is Buenos Aires. I don't get it. But from there, we're gonna have a road trip for this amazing place, which is Brazilian savannah, called Chapada dos Veadeiros. Chapada dos Veadeiros is one of the most sacred places in Brazil, not just because it's the only savannah, but because the flying rivers, as we call, from Amazon, all the water that evaporates from Amazon lands and creates the beautiful waterfalls in Chapada. And the same happened from Chapada, so the water that comes and become clouds flies all the way back to Amazon. So it's this interconnection of the natural system, how it's working, and it's very far from each other. So you'll be very surprised how big is the country, which you can fit the whole of Europe and a little bit more inside of the country. So the flights are about 3 hours and a half from Rio de Janeiro to Brasilia. If you manage to get a quicker one, might be 2 hours and 40 minutes. But from there to Manaus in Amazon is also more 3 hours and a half. So it's not that short trips as most people think. It's some internal flights that is needed. We cannot do that by land, otherwise we're going to take days to cross the country. So the road trip from Alto Paraíso, from Brasilia to Alto Paraíso in Chapada dos Veadeiros takes about 2 hours and a half, 3 hours. It depends of the traffic, okay? So that it's also relative. And that's one of the most important things to mention about the trip. We put a plan together, but of course the weather is what tells us what to do. If we get, for example, the Christ in Rio covered by clouds in that day, we can wait for the day which is the sunshine is happening to be there and do and jiggle things around the program around, okay? But normally we do not get that every day. That you can't worry about. So in Chapada, you're gonna have a very relaxing afternoon in the house, where we will be all together in the house with someone cooking for us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If we are around, the lunch is gonna be packed for us to have by a waterfall, but the dinner is gonna happen in the house. So you're gonna hear from few people that is here in our meeting how it was there for them very soon. So the 31st, we're starting the day again with heart meditation, hatha, and breakfast. And we will be moving to this crystal waterfall. So it's important to understand that that is not a cave, it's not the waterfall is made of crystal, but Chapada dos Veadeiros is a place where underground is one of the biggest reserves of quartz. So the white quartz and the pink quartz and other different kind of quartz actually that we don't see around, but it's underground in that area. So, and you can see, as you're walking on the trails to get to the waterfall, you're gonna see these sparkling things, and you might see even big ones. And you might think, oh my God, is a glass broken? And it's not, it's just natural quartz, clear quartz too, in our walkings. So it's very, very, very beautiful and impressive too. And in our way back from there, I don't know if the way in or the way back now, but there is a place called Moon Valley, which is also a place where the water runs by stones, which looks very much like the moon. And you're gonna understand why once you are walking around the area. It's very hard to explain either, but very beautiful place. In the evening, there is this place called Gota Sound Space, which does look like a drop of water. The format is a drop of water, white, which is an amazing acoustic for sound healing. And they have this every single day, beautiful musicians and heart healers playing there. So from the Sufi mantras to kirtans, to just some of these angel voices playing inside of this space. So that's gonna be a very nice evening too. On the 1st of November, heart meditation, heart and breakfast, followed by Jennifer Library, as you can see here on the side on the picture too. So this was one of the first Heart of Living Yoga projects that became materialized, manifested, and in full function there. So there is a beautiful girl called Jennifer that wished to have a library to teach children from that area in Brazil how to read and how to get interested on the magic behind words, let's say like this, because that's how she says it. The magic behind the words in books. She asked for the place, she asked for books first. And once we arrived there, the place where she was keeping the books was her room, which you're gonna understand that is also not a room as we normally consider it to be. It was just this small place which came out for the books to be there. So that was very touching, and the Heart of Living Yoga supporters helped without even knowing to build this beautiful library for the children in Chapada dos Veadeiros. So you're gonna have the opportunity to visit that project there too and understand the importance of all that you do and how it how when we sign up just for a meditation course or a sharing hatha class, what we are really doing. No, we do believe that we. Sorry, that's my touching place. Because we do believe many times that we are there for ourselves, and we are. But this is the main statement of Heart of Living Yoga. When you do for yourself, you do for all others. And we do for so many people that we don't even know, that we have never met. And anytime I go there and visit this library, I meet new children there that I haven't met before. And the love and the gratitude that they share is the same. And that can just be happening thanks to all of you. Sorry. I'm just like that. I can't hold the tears in. I haven't learned how to do that, but I cry and smile all at the same time, and that's from my nature. So, moving on, this amazing guide there that is going to be with us all the time, called Ivan dos Anjos. So, Angels Ivan. He is going to be our guide, but he also does this beautiful new moon fire ceremony. So, and this is he has done about 180 or more than that. I don't even know the number right now that he is on. But every single new moon, a fire is lighted to renew life and to share his love and care for the wholeness of the planet and principally for nature. So, and we're going to take part in one of that in a beautiful space called Casa Lotus, which is going to surprise you too where this happens. So on day 2, we start the day again with another opportunity for heart. No, I missed something. So there is a beautiful waterfall that calls Catarata dos Couros. It's the second one here in Brazil, if I'm not wrong, after the very well-known Foz do Iguaçu. So we're not going to Foz do Iguaçu, but you're going to have the opportunity to see what it means, the water falling in a big wall, no, this rock wall. We're not gonna do the whole path of the canyons there because we know it's a very hard walk. But if anyone wants to go a little bit further, we're gonna have Ivan with us to go more deep into the path. But there's a short path to where you can go there and appreciate it. So there, day number 2. This is one of the waterfalls, the small waterfalls and the beautiful crystalline water swimming pools in Loquinhas. So it's a series of these little swimming pools. I don't even know, I think it's 9 in one side and 5 on the other side. So there's these 2 trails full of these beauties. As you can see, one of them here on the picture. There is so many, and this delicious place to just relax, meditate. They ask for silence and enjoy the beauty of nature. Enjoying some monkeys coming around, and yeah, so we're gonna have this beautiful morning there and spending as much as we want on that day, taking easy, refreshing, restoring ourselves. And this Professor Alberto Frioli is one of the biggest alchemists in Brazil, which wrote a book called The Goddess and the Flying Horse. And he has this huge sculpture there of a flying horse. And it probably is going to be ready and already working structure that he created there, which calls Love Harmonizer. This is basically made in rose quartz and other sacred geometry symbols that has been put all together in the frequency of 528 hertz, which is the heart frequency, and the sun frequency and the bees frequency. So we will have the opportunity to be there too and enjoy the power of standing. Just by standing on the side of that is impressive. And he is very, very wise man. It's a pleasure to spend time by his side. I do understand why. I don't want to give all the spoils of the trip, but I'm already saying a lot actually. So day 3, we are tripping back to Brasilia. So it's another road trip where we're gonna catch a morning flight to Manaus, Amazon. The arrival in Amazon is always very impressive and beautiful, even if it's not cloudy and rainy. So you can see this ocean of trees, of forest, of actually real jungle before we arrive in this huge city. Because Manaus is just like a London in the middle of the jungle. So it's very huge. It's important that I say that because people were thinking, oh, I'm going to go to the jungle and I'm not going to have hospitals along and all of these things. And actually it's a very huge capital there. So you have all the assistance if that's needed close to you, okay? But of course, yeah, I'm sure you're not going to need any of this. We're going to arrive at a place called Floresta Zen, which is very close to the airport, but already in a part of the forest that still remains in the city. So we can arrive there, relax a little bit, and then go to visit this Mata Viva project. That's the most recent Heart of Living Yoga project in Brazil. You can see here by the side, this guy in green t-shirt is Joe. He is supporting children there in Manaus for many years, about 20 years or more. So he's going to tell you his history there, but basically he preserves, he reforests, he keeps these native plants from Amazon alive in the middle of this big city. And he praises for the water that you can see there, which in the city of Manaus is the last one still clean and alive. It calls Igarapé Água Branca. So he's the guardian of the sacred water, the sacred area, and we're supporting them to teach that importance to the children, because there's many children there, that go there, and even adults that have never seen a clean water in Amazon, because the city has destroyed all the other streams. So if you don't go out of the city to the jungle, you do not see them, which is very sad. But this man is an example of character, and yeah, so that's why we're supporting him. So that's our day number, the 3rd of November. On day 4, we're visiting early in the morning, of course, the weather permitting and the water having the right levels to get there, which is Aldeia Inhambé. This is another Heart of Living Yoga project. Can you see this big maloca, this indigenous building just behind them here on the picture? This has been built by Heart of Living Yoga to support them to keep the culture alive. They had a huge rain that destroyed it and put it down, the one that they had in the past. And they being one of the tribes that had no structure to receive tourists and receive people that comes from the city there too. But not just that, they have lots of children that lives in this area, and they were not able to carry on teaching their native languages there, and not even to teach about the plants, the medicine plants that is in this area too. So now they are doing it all again, which is amazing. So once again, thanks to you all. There is also something that happens since the 15th century, which is this Catholic approach to bring the natives into Catholicism in Brazil, okay? So we're gonna perceive there is this happening there too. But if it wasn't for Heart of Living Yoga, I guess they would have managed to do that much quicker and in a way that would not be balanced anymore. So you're gonna see this contradiction in Aldeia Inhambé too. So, and from there we're gonna visit the school in Parque das Tribos, which is a school in the favela in Manaus that keeps alive the language of more than 35 different cultures and tribes, ethnicities of the indigenous people in Brazil. It's a lady that started that, and the first time we've been there, it was a very poor, just like some cover with wood holding that for teaching children there. And her dream was to have a computer and a printer to be able to teach these children more easily. But she could not even keep the computer there because it was all open in the middle of the favelas. And nowadays, I'm going to show you some pictures from there too. There's a beautiful, beautiful center there, so they can preserve it all. And I hope once we get there, also their new toilets is gonna be ready. They are so excited about having toilets there now. So it's these contradictions that you're able to see that makes all the differences in these people's lives. So the sunset is gonna be, if we have water, and we're gonna be at Tarumanos float. If not, we're going to be at Ponta Negra beach. So it all depends on the levels of the water in the river, okay? But that is alternative for everything based on the weather, as you can see here. Day 5 is an early morning road trip to Presidente Figueiredo, which is another little tiny city already in the middle of the jungle. and it's about 2 hours driving to there, or maybe a little bit more. And that is where we're going to be visiting this place you can see on the picture, and everyone is asking me about this place. There is two big, huge, long caves there, and one of them calls Maruaga. It looks like just something, but actually this cave, when you go to the internal in the opposite direction there, it has 400 meters high like this that goes inwards. And further on, there is about more, at least explored till nowadays, more 2 kilometers that you just go when you, with specialists inside with all the equipments, and we're not going to do that. But it's for you to know that they believe these caves in Amazon takes you to Machu Picchu, and there's people that believes that these caves even takes you all the way to Europe. Who knows? But till now they haven't managed to arrive at the end of this kind of caves. So we're gonna see that there, and we're gonna have a earth and water blessing from Padma on that space too, okay? Because you feel the energy is very sacred. So, and Judea is the other on the side, the crystalline lagoon is around too. Then we're gonna come back to Manaus at the same day, because the day after is when we will be traveling in a boat towards Anavilhanas and Novairão. So this is gonna be a huge trip on boat. So it's 12 hours trip. Yeah. So this seems like, oh my God, we're just gonna be in these small boats on the river in Amazon. No, actually it's a kind of big boat for Amazon. And there is these cabins there, which is not cruise cabin, so don't expect to have a cruise cabin there. You're gonna have the bank beds too, and it's very small, so we have a huge space down beneath the cabins for all the luggages and everything. They will cook in the boat for us. This boat is a school boat, is being used also for treatments along these small tribes on the river. So this visit is going to surprise us too, because it surprised right from the beginning when we figured out that the boat is called Padma. So we didn't know that. And more than that, they work in a project that calls Love University. So we found them, they found us, and we're not sure which direction Love has worked out to put us in contact. But it will be beautiful to visit them, because they keep the traditions also from yoga and from some of ashrams in India, there in the Love University. They do not influence the local culture, so they go there to learn from these tribes and these projects that we'll be visiting along in the river all the way to Novairão and Anavilhanas. But we will have the opportunity, as they are already open for yoga culture. We have the opportunity there to have a puja ritual and a name ceremony or mantra initiation, if you want, so with Padma on day 7. So this day we're going to be spending the whole day there in the area. They will be sharing lots of practices of meditation and yoga with us too, as well as we'll be sharing between us. So this is looking exciting. And on our way back, so they agreed, they normally don't do that, but they said they will take us for the regular touristy places on the way down from there to Manaus, which is the tribe's presentation and the swimming with the pinky dolphins of the river. That's not the regular practices for them, but they understand that once you come all the way crossing oceans, it's important to see how it is. So that's when we will be visiting and exploring it. So here we are coming already at the end of the Amazon trip. So we will have the last night in Floresta Zen, so you can have a proper bed. It's still bunk bed, but at least it's like a normal one, a room, and not a boat one any longer. And the day after, on the 9th, probably in the morning time, I'm checking here. Yeah, probably in the morning time or around lunchtime, we're going to be flying to Rio de Janeiro again and to Paraty, where you've been before. So you already be familiar with the place, so we can have a nice, calm afternoon around, going down to see the sunset by the sea, and coming into the final closing day, which is going to be the 10th of November. So we're gonna have this beautiful satsang with Padma in the morning to gather all the experience of being alone, to allow this to sink, to settle in our beings, before returning to your own future, who you will be at the end of that. So it's a relaxing day too there. I put here because I've enjoyed that very much. It was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. I wish I could fly every day, but I can't. But there is an opportunity in São Conrado Beach to fly in a kite from Pedra da Gávea, which is about 608 meters high, and you just land on the beach, which is very, very beautiful. And in the night, you're flying back to London to arrive probably on the 11:11 early morning or middle of the morning in UK or in America or wherever you are going back to, Italy. So that's what has been planned for 2024 trip to Brazil. Okay. I'm gonna hand over to Vishwanji to invite some of our friends here that have already been in Brazil to share a little bit of their experiences with you now.
Yeah, thank you, Prem. Thank you. So we're very lucky to have three other people besides Prem who went on the pilgrimage in 2018 to share a little of their experiences. So we'll just hear a little bit from each one, and then we'll open up to questions and any discussion. So maybe we'll start with Amaprema. Thank you, Amaprema.
Wow, what an amazing trip's coming up. I wish I could come. Anyway, I was very fortunate to go with Padma and Hanuman and Prem Devi to Brazil on a similar trip, apart from the fact that this is going to be more in Rio de Janeiro, which I would love to visit, and that you're going to be going really deep into the Amazon, which is sort of what I expected when I went there, and was quite surprised to find that the rivers that we are on, some of them were 6 miles wide, and I wasn't expecting this sort of hugeness of the Amazon basin. So that was really exciting to think. When I look back, I mean, I've pilgrimaged a lot with Padma, and it's been always a grace and blessing. And that dimension of Heart of Living Yoga running through all this is really amazing and brings very unexpected things that come up. Meeting our beautiful guide, Ivan, was absolutely magic. And I have to say, without him, I definitely wouldn't have made it up a hill. and he sort of talked me up it and sang me up it, which was pretty amazing. And I'm not very mobile, so for a lot of, but I was able to go to the waterfalls, and swimming in the waterfalls in the Chapada was absolutely amazing. And meeting, it's such a balanced trip that Prem puts together. She's so brilliant, absolutely brilliant, because she is integrating so many different things, integrating really being on a yoga retreat, a yoga pilgrimage, but also integrating really fun things to do that you might do as a tourist. And really amazing projects that we looked at and visited. So by the end of the trip, I had a much better understanding of the history of Brazil and how things had got into the states that they had got into, and the incredible hardship of some of the children and the tribes, particularly the tribal areas, but also the street children and things like that, which is where we seem to be moving into now. And so, you know, there are so many different dimensions to this trip that is really pretty magical. And yeah, I just commend everyone to go with it and to go on it, because it's not something you will ever get another opportunity to do, especially not at whatever price it's coming out at. And to travel in a heart community is always a great blessing wherever we go in the world. It's very magical and, you know, very unexpected. And I mean, as many of you know, I'm very passionate about whales and dolphins, and the opportunity to swim with the pink dolphin, even though it was only for an hour or so, was definitely one of my personal highlights, just to connect with that nature and really the nature of Brazil is so rich and magical, and it's so central to the future of the world's health as well, that you know, there are dimensions of this, of the environment, dimensions of helping children, of helping people, of meeting people, and of hearing all the stories that people have got, and that brings a whole different dimension to it. So I commend it to you. I don't know if you've got any questions, but you're welcome to ask me any questions.
Thank you, Amaprema. Thank you. It's beautiful to hear how helpful it is to go on this trip. That, you know, we might think what an adventure this is for ourselves, but also how we're supporting the healing of our world. So thank you for that. Thank you. Hanumanji, would you like to share a little with us? We'd love to hear your experience.
Hello, everybody. I wrote some things down to remind myself of all the different things that there are and how amazing it is. But the only thing I think is it's a bit like when astronauts talk about going into space and they look down at the planet. I think sort of going to space, it's about the closest you're going to get in a way, because when you're there, like when you fly into Manaus, it's a massive city, and you look out the window of the airplane and there's this little grey dot in green, and you're up at 20,000 feet and that's all you can see is trees. And that is amazing. So you go down and it's a tiny, you think, oh, it's like a village. It's a massive city. And you get there and it's wonderful. And then you go into the rainforest and you can hear it, the green heart beating. You can feel it. It's, yeah, it's like nothing else we would go to the woods here and it's nice. You go there and yeah, you can't hear or feel anything else. Just this green heartbeat. So yeah, definitely recommend it. On a personal level, just to experience that, it gives you so much perspective about nature. Yeah. And then another news, you should probably take a torch and some really good shoes. So the torch is so you don't step on the crabs in the cave. Yeah, that Maruga cave, it's got crabs in it. And we're not talking little crabs either. We're talking like, you know, big crabs. So you want shoes you don't mind getting wet. Everything's going to be wet, by the way. Yeah, good torch. Yeah, because you don't want to step on anything in the dark. And when you go to Chapada, of course, they're talking about all the crystals there, and there's a chance there. There's people by the road selling crystals, the places we stop. You can, and they're genuine as well. It's not something that's been doctored in an oven and stuff like that. So there's all those wonderful opportunities. But mostly it's just lovely to be there and be in the nature. You go to these amazing waterfalls, and Brazil is big. Popping down the road to the shops there is a major expedition. It's, you know, we're just going to this local waterfall. Yeah, local to them is like Wales. Oh, I live in, you know, Wales is good if you live in Bath, but if you live in London, that's about what you're looking at. So yeah, it's the distances are big. But yeah, going there and all the tribes, when you go and see them out in the jungle, it's lovely. And then you see the project and what they're dealing with there. It's also giving you this perspective. Lovely. Brazilian people are amazing. They have this a wonderful outgoing way as well. So that's really nice. And with us going there in this art energy, it only amplifies that. So it's really lovely. Yeah. And I remember in Chapada also, you have avocado for dinner. Yeah, you have to share one between you, but don't worry, it's bigger than your head. So when we have avocado in England, you just get a little piece like this. Yeah, in the Amazon, they don't muck about. It's like a photo.
Let me share that, Hanuman. At this time, it's falling from the tree here in Rio.
Bring me one. I am hungry for a week.
It's huge.
Yeah, and you get to meet Ivan the angel. Yeah, he's an amazing guy. You see someone whose heart is totally invested in everything he's doing. Yeah, and you get to do all sorts of stuff that we didn't do when we went last time. All this stuff in Rio. I'm quite jealous. Yeah. Oh, I wish. Yeah, and the professor with the flying horse. I'm not going to ruin it, but yeah, that guy does some amazing things. You will see things there. But normally you see things like that in a museum or on TV or something. To actually go and see these things in person, really amazing. So yeah, there's so many things, and our beautiful Prem has put this wonderful program together. Yeah, if you can, do it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Jai Prem.
Thank you, Hanumanji. Thank you. That's really inspiring to hear. And I hope you can join us again this year somehow. It would be a great blessing. Oh, Marlika G. Yeah, Marlika. Who- You joined last time as well, didn't you? And you live in Brazil. Would you like to share a little?
Oh my God. After this wonderful sharings and this amazing memories and this unbelievable program that Prem Devi has pulled together with Rio together, and some things I don't know, like Padma Boat, and things that I know, like being with Padma around. Oh my God, this is amazing. This is perhaps the first thing I would tell you about coming and being with her. When she's around, we are all about love and light and in all parts of, in every part in the planet. But if it's here, perhaps it has something special because she's coming again. And about the river, I can tell you that it was my first time being there, that I could really, really feel that Mother Earth is alive, is a being, is Gaia. For sure. It was my first time of feeling, as Hanuman said about the green heart beating, I felt it was alive, like veins and arteries and the heart itself and everything, but all around the world. But there I could feel, oh, it's alive. Really, we hear about it, but we can feel it there. And what else? So many things. The pink dolphins, amazing. They are cute and amazing to touch their heart. It's possible. Go there, people. And what else? And the tribes, we danced with the tribes, with the Indians, and it was pure love too. Everything there is pure love. The pink dolphin, Padma, and then Hanuman and Prandevi and Radha at the time. It was teaching me things too. And then the nature, and then the river that tells us, that reminds us that Gaia is, that the earth is alive, really, davvero, in fact. And what else? And everything is love. The pink dolphins, the crystals in Chapada, the tribes, when we dance with them, when we see them dancing, when they make up pictures in our faces, the children, they do that. So it's amazing. When we see the library of Jennifer in Chapada, sorry, I'm mixing both of them because it's all in my being and in my heart. When we see that, we hear that she was expecting to try to gather some books to perhaps a library. Well, there is there. The Heart of Living Yoga made it possible. It's there, it's done, it's alive too, you know. So many things to be seen, the waterfalls, the crystal waterfalls, the Loquinhas, to see the river, Amazon River. So many things there and there. And in Rio that I know, but not with these people, but I will know with these people together, to see the Christ, to see the temple beneath, that is Nossa Senhora de Aparecida, that is the mother. So many blessings, so many blessings. Some things I didn't know about, that we will go to the Christ in the Corcovado together. So it will be amazing. And so many blessings of the water blessings with Padma. So what can I tell you, people? I'm not putting my mind together because my heart is wanting to tell you things before. But I think you know what I'm talking about, what my heart is trying to talk to you about. Come. I hope I can be with you, because now I have to be with you. I didn't know if I could, but how can we not be there? So thank you, Padma. Thank you, Prem. Thank you, Hanuman. Amma Prema. I love to see you here. Vishwan. Oh, I'll see you near. So come. I think everything is a bliss about this. and Friuli too. So thank you, Padma. Thank you, Padma.
Thank you, Maralika.
Sorry about the brainstorm.
Thank you, Marlika. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you're a fountain of joy, you are. Huh? A fountain of joy. Thank you. Last we'll hear, before questions, if it's okay, we'll hear from Padma about her experience of the pilgrimage last time.
Yeah, wow. I feel ready to go tomorrow now. So, first thing I want to say is thank you, a huge thank you to Prem Devi for all this hard work to organize this. It just is amazing what she can do and what she has done. And as people have mentioned, it's possible a little bit of magic flows through as well. So on the trip in 2018, that was my first visit to Brazil. So at that time, we didn't have any projects in Brazil. And why was I going to Brazil? People ask me. I say, I don't know. But when we got there, we found out. So one of the first things was our guide, who Prem hadn't met before and didn't know, just turned out to be Ivan, who is one of the most beautiful beings on the planet, perhaps. You'll know when you meet him. And he spoke to us about the ecological crisis the planet's experiencing. And as he spoke to us, tears were rolling down his face. And his heart is so pure and full of light. And he's so passionate about, well, everything that he does, but about Gaia and all her children. And we actually organized a lecture tour for him in the UK. So that I think it was the year after he came and did that. And through him, he had seen a little sign beside the road, a little wooden sign like this, that said, please help me make a library, and a phone number that was done in paint with a paintbrush. And that was Jennifer's sign that she had made. And Ivan had gone to her house, which is, I think it's 12 or 15 kilometers or something away from the main road, out in the forest. And there she was. You'll see her parents' house where she lives. It's not the kind of house we would expect, probably. You'll see what it's like when we're there. So it's a very simple dwelling. And I asked, and she was 13, I think, at the time. And I asked her, so the books had come, I asked her if there was anything she would like. And at 13 years old, she asked for something for the others, not for herself. She said, yes, I want a building for the books so that more children can come. And yeah, and we were so blessed that that's been able to happen. But before that, Ivan took us to a children's home, which has been run by a family for a long time. The mother and father were in their 80s. And what we didn't know was the day before, they had had a meeting, the family, and they serve a lot of children and a lot of families in the area. Children live there, children come in, they serve food to people who are hungry. A lot is going on. And the day before, they'd had a family meeting to say that they would have to close because they didn't have any money to pay the wages for everybody. And the mother, who's an amazing lady, I love very much, and she said, no, we will not close, we will pray. And they sat together in their prayer room and they prayed. And the next day we showed up and we were able to organize the money that was needed, which was a fair amount. Yeah, so these are the kinds of things that we can't plan. But when we're on pilgrimage, this is what I wanted to say. So it's a fabulous trip. It's also been called a pilgrimage, a heart pilgrimage. When we say to the universe, I'm on a pilgrimage, the universe perks up her ears and says, aha, you are stepping out of your normal way of being in that moment. And by doing that, that is what allows the magic to flow. So everyone who comes with us, thank you all for taking that step out of your daily path of life into this heart dimension, or whatever we might call it, serendipity, miracles. So what will happen on this trip? Don't ask me, huh? Ask my boss. I'm really looking forward to going back and seeing all the people that we met before and all the projects that are now going. I think it's 6. I think I'm right. And also to go to Rio. So this is a really special thing for me. So the street children of Rio, and actually Sao Paulo, which we don't yet have a project there, just saying that. Those street children, I heard about them when I was 10 years old, and something activated in my heart when I was 10, which I've carried with me since then. So when Prem Devi made this connection with Parati, which was by some magic chance, she was nearby and someone came to her and said, you need to come to this place where the children are. And she was a bit nervous, that she told me at first, you know, in the favela of Rio, should I go with this strange person that I don't know? But she did. She trusted her heart and everything. And so this new opportunity to serve and support and share love with everyone there has come about. So it's going to be pretty amazing. Everything that everyone said is true, and there's so much more as well. Yeah, there's the sauna, the special sauna at Agua Branca in the Amazon. That's very, very amazing. There's like a pool inside that has herbs and flowers in it. Oh my goodness. There was something else I was remembering, but that's gone now. So I probably said enough, so I'll be quiet and hand over back to Vishwa. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Padma, for bringing to life the magic that happens on pilgrimages. Yeah. So we can expect the unexpected and open our hearts to miracles. So, are there any questions? Does anyone want to ask anything about the pilgrimage? Yeah, Sarpriya.
I'm nothing about the pilgrimage per se, just because I'm definitely going to be there, and
Wonderful.
I'm happy to be surprised. But yeah, 'cause it sounds absolutely extraordinary and beautiful, and yeah, just being on pilgrimage, I've never been on pilgrimage before, so that'd be amazing. But I just really practically about coordinating flights, really. And if there's going to be a way that how are we going to arrange that? Just for my sense of
Let me come.
inner
Let
calm.
me so Sarapriya, the international flight, the one that you come from London, days you can book by yourself. You're gonna book by yourself, okay? As I said, it's important that on the 27th till about 8:30 maximum, you are at the Galeão Airport, which is the GIG airport, all right? So, and then from there, we're gonna do everything all together. So once we have everyone booked ready for the pilgrimage, then we're gonna book the internal flights. So I have someone here in Brazil, which is a travel agent, that is gonna take care of the internal flights to book it all together for us. Of course, I'm gonna try to coordinate all the payments directly to her, but if anyone will need to do that through me, I can support on that too. But this is actually when we are formed, when the group is whole formed, so then we know that we will be on the same flights inside of the country, arrive at the same time, all together, okay? Does that answer?
Yes, that's great. That's perfect. So if I was to book my flight today, the flight coming back to London, what time will we be back in the airport roughly? Do we have it? Was that on the?
The way back.
Yeah.
So it normally leave around. There's flights that arrives in London about 12. There's flights that arrives around 11. So, but I would say about lunchtime.
Okay. So we'll be leaving Rio at lunchtime. What time?
Yeah, you're gonna be leaving Rio at nighttime. Anytime from 7 p.m. The flight can be booked.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, see you in Brazil. I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to go now because I'm running a bit late. But just sending all my love to all of you, and I just can't wait. It's just beautiful.
Feel free to write me whenever you need or have any questions or want to know anything else.
Thank you, darling. Mwah. Love to you all.
Thank you, Sarpriya. We'll put you in
Bye.
touch with Kalyani if you want to book on the same flight that she's already booked, so you could travel
Okay.
together.
Yeah, sure. Great.
Bye.
Bye. Mwah. Bye.
Can I say something quickly? Because I haven't got very long. I just want to say I feel very excited and blessed to even be here and to be able to come. I'm hoping I can. I know I can make it happen. I can come. It just sounds absolutely amazing. It sounds amazing. It sounds wonderful. It is just sounds absolutely gorgeous. I just want to say I've got this Vishwam. I thank Vishwam for planting the seed of this trip. I won't talk too much, but this was a little retreat before, I don't know when it was, before Christmas, November. And I chose this heart not realizing that it's an Amazonian stone or something like that. It's been with me on my altar. And I've wrestled with can't I, of course I want to come, but my mind says, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you overcome this obstacle, that obstacle? And it's like, yes. It's just yes. And so I want to thank you, Vishwam, for sowing the seed. Padma, I'm so excited to get to know you more, because I skirt around the edges of everything, and I just want to dive in. I just want to dive in here. So thank you. and Prem Davy. I'm looking forward to getting to meet all of you more and get to know you more. Oh, no.
You.
Oh, sweetie. And what was it? Because of course I got, all those practical questions. But actually, the only sort of question, I know we can do this on emails and things, was to do with vaccinations or travel vaccinations, rather boringly. But is there anything that we need to think about on that one?
The only vaccination they ask for Amazon is the yellow fever one. Okay, but I need to let it open to you because we had on the first pilgrimage we did. Not even there was a child that came too and that wasn't vaccinated. Okay, so there was no problem during the whole trip either. It's like we do use, because there it's mosquitoes, so we do use these things for mosquitoes, which protect you from the bite and can protect you also from getting things transmitted by them. But it's important that for your heart that you do and you be guided by it and do what feels safe for you.
Absolutely. Fair enough. Absolutely. Thank you, darling. Thank you. I don't think there's anything. I know one other thing. Sort of backpacks or suitcases, or doesn't matter really, because we're not carrying stuff very much, are we?
Well, we're not carrying things around. We are moving to one place to another. But of course, you will need to make sure that you have everything that you need for every environment. So I would recommend you to come with a luggage. How do we say, a checked-in luggage too? But I need to open an exception because we also had someone that came with hand luggage, and my goodness, she had even a part dress coming out of this hand luggage.
Yeah. Okay.
That she was all full of outfits. So yeah, also on that, you can have a rolling, or doesn't need to be in your back. It's gonna be fine.
It'll be fine. I don't want to ask too much. That's lovely. That's lovely.
You need a day bag as well, something to carry water.
Yes.
Those kind of things with you. But yeah, take everything you might need. It's going to be all sorts of environments.
Yeah, exactly. Quite humid, of course. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Becca.
Fran, legal falar de uma mochila para ela.
O Hanuman falou agora.
É isso que ele falou, né?
So, are there any other questions before we close? Anyone else want to share anything?
Rita has
Rita,
asked in the chat.
Oh, yes.
Asked in the chat, is there an expiration date to book? We are planning to book the internal flights maximum around May or beginning of June. So for the booking, we had put that till the end of April. So having everyone booked by the beginning of May would be helpful to get good fees on the internal flights, because if you will leave for too close, it gets expensive. So it's better if we do that right in the beginning of May, maximum beginning of June. Does that is helpful, Rita?
Can I just ask something? Is that the deposit or is that the whole thing?
No, you can do the deposit. You probably saw that there is a payment plan.
Okay, that's lovely.
So the deposits. Yeah, you don't need to pay all at once, no.
Do it instead.
Can I ask, Prem, if you have a kind of vague idea, a rough idea of how much the internal flights will be between this or that much?
Yeah, let me check it here, just a second. Because I received that actually, just a sec, I'm doing the conversion to. So today it would be around £393 for the 3 internal flights.
Thank you. So if we said about 400,
Yeah, yes.
thank you.
Any other questions? Well, you can always ask me also by email, or feel free to connect on WhatsApp, on Heartplace, whatever you feel like you want to communicate and share your thoughts. And we can discuss it all by then.
So thank you everyone for taking time to be with us this morning and share a little taste of this incredible opportunity to travel together in the heart, to connect with the rainforest and the people and the projects and the dolphins and everything. Huh? And yeah, let us know if you have any questions. You can always get in touch through the website if you don't have our contact details. And maybe we'll just have a little closing prayer with Padma, if that's okay.
So let's take just a moment to join together, dropping into our own heart. Coming into the peace that is within us. Feeling the quiet smile, the joyful smile that is always there. This presence of love that lives within us all. Inviting this presence of love to always guide us in the right way, in the right direction, for the highest good of all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace. May there be peace with us all. See you in Brazil.
See you soon. I'm hoping to see some of you before in Europe. So, yeah. Thank you all for taking part of the meeting today. And I look forward to enjoy and to share the beautiful land where I have been blessed to be born. Thank you. Bye, everyone.